Folks, I need you to stop whatever you are doing right now because I am about to show you something that genuinely stopped me cold this week. And I don't say that lightly. I have been analyzing stocks for years. I have seen bull markets. I have seen crashes. I have seen companies come out of nowhere, and I have seen sure things collapse overnight. But what I found this week is different. There is a company, and I am not going to tell you the name yet because if I do, half of you are going to make a snap judgment and miss the entire point. There is a company right now that is sitting inside the single most powerful macro tailwind in the modern era. War. Not one war. 3 simultaneous conflicts. U.S. fighter jets in the Middle East, missiles flying over Eastern Europe, naval standoffs in the Pacific, and every single day that any one of those conflicts continues, this company gets paid. But here is what makes this truly extraordinary. It is not just getting paid, it is getting paid years in advance. Governments are not placing orders for next quarter, they are signing contracts for the next 7 years. Right now, this week, and the stock, it has already moved 30% since November, but I believe, with everything I'm about to show you, that this is not the end of the run, this is the beginning. Stay with me for the next 7 minutes, because at minute 7, I'm going to reveal the ticker symbol, and the number I show you just before I do that is going to land very differently after everything you have heard. Let me set the stage first, because context is everything. Right now, the United States government is proposing a $1.5 trillion defense budget by 2027. That is not a typo, $1.5 trillion, up from $901 billion just 1 year ago. NATO member nations have more than doubled their defense procurement budgets. Germany, Poland, the UK, Japan, Australia, countries that spent decades cutting military budgets are now scrambling to rebuild from scratch. The U.S. Department of State has already approved arms sales worth over $16.5 billion to Middle Eastern allies alone in just the past few weeks. And every single dollar of that money flows through a very small number of companies. Companies that have the factories, the engineers, the government clearances, the proven technology, the decades of institutional relationships. You cannot build what these companies build overnight. A new competitor cannot show up tomorrow with an advanced fighter jet. You cannot 3D print a missile defense system. The barriers to entry in this space are not high. They are vertical walls. And the company I am about to show you sits at the very top of that wall. Now let me describe what this company does, without naming it yet. Imagine you are the Secretary of Defense of a NATO ally. Your country just committed to doubling its military budget. You need fighter jets, you need missile defense systems, you need radar, you need satellites, you need autonomous weapons systems, you need everything, and you need it now. There is exactly one company you call first. When an advanced fighter jet takes off from a carrier deck and goes supersonic, that is this company's aircraft. When a missile defense battery intercepts an incoming ballistic missile 150 kilometers above the Earth in the final seconds before impact, that is this company's technology. When a satellite transmits real-time battlefield intelligence to a commander on the other side of the world, that is this company's satellite. When the U.S. Army fires a precision strike missile in combat for the very first time, which happened just 22 days ago, that is this company's missile. This company operates across 4 divisions: advanced fighter aircraft, missile and fire control systems, rotary and mission systems, and space technology. Every one of those divisions is growing. Every one of those divisions just received new long-term government contracts. Now, the numbers. And this is where the story becomes extraordinary. Full year 2025 revenue came in at $75 billion. Free cash flow was $6.9 billion, exceeding expectations. The company finished 2025 with a record high backlog. Management is guiding 2026 revenue between $77.5 billion and $80 billion, with segment operating profit growth of more than 25% year over year. Operating profit up 25% in a single year. The company pays a dividend every single quarter. It buys back its own stock. It invested $3.5 billion in research and development in 2025 alone. This is not a startup. This is not a speculative bet. This is a cash machine operating at the center of a global defense emergency. Now the news. And there is a lot happening right now. Just 22 days ago, on March 4th, 2026, this company's precision strike missile was used in combat for the very first time during Operation Epic Fury. A weapon just proved itself in actual combat. In front of every defense ministry watching, that is a live product demonstration that no marketing budget in the world can replicate. And then, just yesterday, March 25th, 2026, this company and the U.S. Department of War announced a framework agreement to quadruple precision strike missile production capacity. Not increase, not expand, quadruple. The company is investing over $7 billion in capacity expansion to support this ramp. On top of that, a landmark agreement was signed to expand missile interceptor production from 96 to 400 units per year. Another interceptor line is tripling from 600 to 2,000 units per year. The U.S. Department of State approved arms sales of over $16.5 billion to Middle Eastern allies this month, with one country alone taking an $8.4 billion package. And just this week, the company was awarded a contract for 18 new satellites worth more than $1 billion. 5 major news items, 1 week, and the stock has barely moved on any of them. Now here are the 5 catalysts I am watching closely. Catalyst 1, the Iran conflict demand surge. Every week of active U.S. military engagement is a live demonstration of this company's weapons to every watching nation. Emergency procurement orders are being signed right now. This is not future revenue, this is today's revenue. Catalyst 2, Europe rebuilding from zero. International sales are already outpacing domestic sales for this company. Europe has decades of underinvestment to make up for. That catch-up spending flows directly here. Catalyst 3, the production ramp revenue acceleration. When you quadruple missile production, the financial impact is enormous, and that impact has not yet been reflected in the stock price. Catalyst 4, artificial intelligence integration. This company is pioneering AI-powered updates to weapon systems and integrating autonomous technology into its defense missions. AI making every existing product more capable at almost zero incremental cost. Catalyst 5, earnings April 21st, 2026. That is the first quarter to fully reflect the Iran conflict contracts, the combat debut, the production quadrupling, and the $16.5 billion arms package. That is a major catalyst event less than 4 weeks away. Now, I promised you a number that would land differently after everything you have heard. Here it is. $194 billion, $194 billion in contracted order backlog. The highest in this company's entire history. Already signed, already committed, already scheduled for delivery. That is 2.5 times the company's entire annual revenue sitting in the pipeline before a single new war contract is added. Governments have prepaid for this work. It cannot be canceled. It cannot be disrupted by a bad market week or a Fed decision. It is locked in. And every missile ramp, every arms deal, every combat deployment I just described, all of that is on top of $194 billion that already exists. Are you ready for the name? The company is Lockheed Martin Corporation, ticker symbol LMT, listed on the New York Stock Exchange. The stock is trading around $624 today. The 52-week range is for $10 to $692. The world's largest defense contractor, the maker of the F-35 THAAD, HIMARS, and the precision strike missile that just saw its combat debut 22 days ago. The market is pricing this stock as if the world is at peace. The production lines, the backlog, and the news flow this week are telling a completely different story. That gap is exactly where the opportunity sits. Check NASDAQ.com for the real-time price before making any decisions. Next earnings, April 21st, 2026. Mark that date in your calendar right now. If this analysis gave you value today, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that bell. Every single day, I bring you the freshest stock analysis on Stock Alerts Daily. Drop a comment below right now. Are you already watching LMT? Did this change how you see the defense sector? I read every single comment personally. And as always, nothing in this video is financial advice. This is for informational and educational purposes only. Always do your own independent research. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. See you tomorrow.